Hello, now let's continue exploring the function editor. So we're going to create a simple object. I'll just put right there. And I'm again going to continue working with the function editor from the material edit. So we'll look before how we can access, and we'll just go to edit graph. So we open and we'll look a little bit overview on our input nodes. And now I want to look on output nodes. Before we look on output nodes, notice right here in the middle, again, this is always a logic happen. And one notice to kind of keep in mind, this internal logic does not necessarily require to have an input node. And this is important to remember. So for example, if I want to create color, and I'm going to create a simple fractal, okay, and I'm going to create color map, and let's change this color map so it will be something more brighter. We can see it. I can actually take this color map connecting to my color. Notice it does not require anything. It will have it one solid color because it's take medium value right on the middle right here. You can see that's what it does, because no input, nothing. It's like 0, -1 and 1. Okay, we could actually take and remove our connection from position for our fractal and just connect fractal directly, and you can see it's already affecting. So fractal will be only same color, it won't depend on any position, but these elements, they don't need to have any input, but they already can affect output. And this is kind of neat. Keep it that we must connect whatever we do modification to the output to see the result, but we don't necessarily need to connect to the input to affect this. So again, it's nice when we're using input because we can control our manipulations or we can receive additional data, but it's not required for us to have an effect on our output nodes. The one thing what we don't want to do, and it's just a good practice, it's leave orphan nodes. And what I mean by orphan, it's okay for these nodes not to be connected, like output and input nodes. It's just connectors. However, if we have it like this, code that floating inside those nodes, they don't have any input or any output, they're just useless information that make our application use it more memories and other things. So this is orphan nodes. We probably want to delete them and remove from our code if we don't use it. And it just make less clutter and everything. They're not necessarily will do something bad, but they just unnecessary there. If you're in progress and you work there, maybe you create something that you still in progress, but you don't have time right now, you can leave it there. They're not necessarily will create harm, but it do good practice, it will clean up. So for example, if I decide to use this color instead versus natural, I want to delete it so it will be a little bit cleaner and nicer look for me. Okay, let's come back to our input nodes. As we said before, the input nodes require different type of input. Color, for example, it's a green, represent color. Our blue is a number, and we don't currently have any vector output, but it will be represented in a red if we do have it. This is output. They are changed depend on what type of material you have it or what object or anything. So they same, they're very flexible and they reflect in your current location for your function editor. You can access the output from the left. Again, you can click and you can preview right here. We have tons of different ones. However, I do like if you create new output to use it a floating menu. So you just right click and go to output, and you can see right here they actually nicely divide per group, and this is groups represent on material. So if we look first, second, third, all this group, blur, diffuse, ambient lighting. If we look inside our material editor, in our properties like effects, we'll have all this diffuse luminosity, In a color, we have it 1. If we're going to the transparency, here we have it our refraction. So they separated based on this vector. Of course, if we're going to switch, for example, to PBR material, and we'll go back, you'll notice that our outputs, they change. So they have it less, we have it different ones. It's based on a type of material. And you can even notice right here, we have it less than we have before. This is kind of important to keep in your mind, because sometimes I work and I'm forgot that I changed material type or other things, or change something in the object, and go look on the properties and I cannot find my output. And it could be a little bit confusing, but till you realize, oh, I have a different type of material right now using, so it's probably output is not available. So if you cannot find the output, be sure you in write or whatever you want, the materials, or if you're in object or global object editing, or maybe somewhere else. So they remember, output, same as the input, will change based on this. Okay, so overall, outputs, it's very easy. It is just other properties that we can modify that based on maybe materials, placement, or shapes of the object, as well as maybe in some animations. Okay, let's go ahead and click OK right now for this material. And on a sphere, we'll go ahead and edit. Okay, let's click right there. We'll go to function editor just for our object. And you'll notice it will be a little bit different. It's what to remember, because color and other ones. Now we have it output as position, orientation, size, pivot, and color. Now all these different ones. Also notice that we could, if we're going to output materials, we have it all of these, not as many as maybe with the materials, but we have it one additional called custom dependency. So let's create this. What is custom dependency allowed us to do? It's provide our own output from this material or from this currently object. For example, we can do a lot of manipulations, and we can provide output from this node so that people can attach. For example, if I want to change and provide the maybe positioning based on rotation or some other relative information, I can provide that other elements can use it. And also as well, we can remember, we can have it input, we'll look before, so we can actually use the external dependency. And this is external dependency we can reference to already existing or to some custom output dependency what we created on another ones. In some cases, same one we're going to use it inside the material editor. Sometimes we want to change color, like for example, if a sun going down, we want to maybe change color, or for the plants glowing, like an avatar, you want to do with positioning on this, then we'll create a custom dependency maybe on the sun or other elements, and in materials we'll create an external dependency input, and we'll link that external dependency to specific elements, like for example sphere, custom dependency, and now we're actually linking itself from custom dependency, which I don't necessarily think we want to do this, but you can see availability of the dependency instantly as we created our custom dependency. We'll look on those custom dependency in specific video when we're going to work with this. So just let you know, it's there as an output beside all other ones. You can create your own, but we'll have a special video just how to do this, and we'll probably going to just create, you know, this glowing plants or something other elements with this, because it's kind of fun. Okay, so let's go ahead, and next video we're going to look a little bit more on nodes that located inside, so we can manipulate it with the data.